This program is not suitable for persons under the age of 18. Please do remember to cannabis responsibly at all times. Podcast welcomes you. Welcome to another episode of Podcast. I'm sitting here with the friend to the show, Mr. Silas, the director of the Cannabis Expo. How are you doing?
So good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm always good. Another successful expo to
Thank you.
Kudos.
To everyone. Look, we're so excited to be back in Cape Town after 2 years, thanks to the pandemic. I mean, we were with you in Sandton in November last year, and that was amazing. We didn't know what to expect, but it was fantastic. But yeah, amazing to be back in Cape Town, and this just our second day, seeing how many people, yesterday and Thursday, how many people came through the door. Friday, of course, now it's even busier, so looking forward to a busy weekend of cannabis.
Saturday is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
it's going to be so crazy. Can you just let the viewers know what's the difference between this one and the one that was held last year in Sandton?
So, in many ways, it's the same show, just growing with each, from event to event.
Yeah.
So we actually have more exhibitor stands here in Cape Town. We've got more internationals have been able to come out now that the pandemic's, not restricting travel as much. So whereas Sandton, we did have some internationals, but it was still quite tricky. So that's been fantastic to see the international cannabis community converge here in Cape Town as well. Just so you'll see if looking around the different stands, the mix that we have here, I think, is so fantastic between our local cannabis companies and cannabis entrepreneurs, cannabis products, and all of that, and the international community coming in also with their expertise and products, and able to engage with them, showcase what's available in the cannabis world around the world, and allow us as South Africans to learn from that as well, and see
grow.
How we can grow and see what's out there and connect, and that's what's so exciting about this expo, and it's really all here in Cape Town at the Cannabis Expo.
Touching on the expo, the last time you and I had a discussion, we touched based on the rural areas, for the people, the mamas and the papas who aren't able to come and attend these expos. And I do remember vaguely you saying that, your structure is not actually befitting them, but there's been discussions in terms of actually getting such networks to them. How is that going? Because people have been calling me and asking me, so I have to ask.
I think realistically with an expo like this, it is very tricky for us to take it into, it has to be in a large commercial area as we are now, as we were in Sandton. But certainly the discussions that you're hearing on the convention stage about how we can create an equitable cannabis industry for everyone, how we can move this cannabis industry around to everyone, and also, having platforms like yourselves and having these discussions, and having discussions with, or allowing so many different exhibitors to come in who represent different sectors of society as well. I think all of that adds to us actually getting the message of cannabis out there, and it adds to the conversation, especially with government, who are finally starting to get properly involved in this expo.
In the expo?
In the expo, and I'll explain that now. It's really exciting, and that can really help move, shape our legislation going forward, help shape the legislation to make sure that cannabis and the cannabis economy here in South Africa works for everyone and reaches every sector of society.
Oh, okay. Can you explain how government is...
So it's been interesting from the beginning, of course, 2018, when we first launched the Cannabis Expo, shortly after the Constitutional Court ruling. When we first launched it in South Africa, we have been engaging with government right from the beginning, and especially the DTIC, Department of Trade and Industry and Commerce, and really trying to push, see how they can get involved, and see how they can really, take part in these discussions. And there's been interest from government from the beginning, but very much in a
Back against the wall a little bit.
We will come and have a look, but we don't want to be front and center. We don't want to be We don't want to be on the panel necessarily. So we have had some government departments, and Westgrow and Cape, from the Cape side have been very, very proactive. But
and I know the Premier came to the one in Joburg.
Premier of Gauteng came in Joburg. Fantastic. But also, what's been interesting is we see these departments, we see them coming to the show but not necessarily taking part of it. Just a few weeks ago we were contacted by different government departments, including the DTIC, going, we want to be a part of the show, not just be there, we want to stand, we want to engage, we want to really be, and that's all thanks to our President Sona address, and we can see an immediate shift just in this last month, just since Sona, how the government departments are now going, right, this is the way we need to move forward, how are we going to engage properly, and that's super encouraging and super exciting for us at the Expo and for the entire cannabis industry here to see government actively going, right, we've
because
got the president's spoken, how do we take this forward? And this is a perfect platform for those discussions to happen as well.
True that, because the cannabis industry is they don't have faith in the government right now, because they believe, they talk like everything else, they just speak but there's no action. So I'm glad to see that they've been reaching out, and hopefully the Smallanyana Expo may be taken then into the villages from these interactions that you guys have been having with the government. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So tomorrow, Saturday, we're having a party as always. It's not all about business, there's fun as well. People need to understand that. Maybe now you get more stalls.
That's a beautiful part about cannabis. Cannabis is certainly big business, but cannabis is also a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Okay, and then the one that's going to take place, because after this is Durban. Where is it taking place in Durban? Are you still looking?
No, so we're at the Suncoast in Durban. The Suncoast Casino. They've got a fantastic expo venue, expo hall there. So that's really, it's the first time we're hosting the event there. We outgrew our old venue, and we're also very, very excited about Durban for one main reason. In the Sona address, President Ramaphosa specifically mentioned KZN and focus on KZN, a big focus on cannabis in KZN, and KZN is where some of the first licensed in the Dube precinct there is where the first licensed cannabis grow operations actually happened in South Africa. So, and it's a huge agricultural hub, of course, KZN, not to mention Durban poison. So,
of course.
So it's really exciting, especially after Sona. I think the Durban event, where in the past it was a great event, Cannabis Expo side. I think because of that renewed focus there now with the industry, I'm very excited to see how the Durban Cannabis Expo actually pans out. I think it's going to be quite agricultural focused.
Can you give the dates for those who are interested now, so people can start preparing?
Check on our website. It's I think it's in June or July. Unfortunately,
in July. It's in July. I'll be able to provide the dates.
Unfortunately, my head is completely in Cape Town at the moment. But yes, we're coming up in July later this year. Super excited. Durban's going to be amazing. We're already almost sold out on exhibitor stands as well. There's a few stands still available. So yeah, super excited about where this industry is actually going and where it's taking us, and nice to be back.
It's nice that you guys are doing this, becoming the business hub for the cannabis industry. It's great, and continue doing the good work.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll be able to provide those details in terms of when the expo will be taking place in Durban. It is going to be in July. I just forgot the dates exactly, but it's definitely in July. I'll be able to provide those dates as we end this episode. And remember, to cannabis responsibly at all times. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button. And remember, to cannabis responsibly at all times.